need, it's something else. When somebody says, I figured it out, what else could it be? That means they don't know, and so this is all they can come up with. They can't explain it, and they don't need to. Well, apparently they don't need to. I think they need to. My side's God. Says so. Their side is we think so, but we can't prove it. But people jump all over that. Now, the problem is then, you got Genesis, then John complicates the Genesis account. John puts Jesus at the creation as an equal with God. Did you get that? I'm about to say something profound here, actually disturbing. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He, the Word, was in the beginning with God. This is important. This is important. The creating power of God, let there be light. That light was the light of men. Let there be light. There was no sun yet. Sun wasn't there for 4 more days. Well, it's kind of crazy. There was a sun there, the S-O-N sun, and he's the light. And when you get to the end, the sun and the moon go away again, and it says we have no need of them, for the Lamb, the sun, the Lamb is the light thereof. And we don't need light anymore. So God shows up, light shows up. We don't need suns and moons. Every time I say something, I think of something crazy. Sun Myung Moon. Remember that guy? Oh, have mercy. Help us, Jesus. I won't even go off on that. Hopefully, most of you are too young. You just said, huh? Hopefully. Where was I? Yeah. Jesus is the creative power of God as much as God the Father is the creative power of God. And you saw the Holy Spirit was in there because the Spirit hovered over the face of the waters. He was just looking. That's cool. I like it. What are you going to do? Turn on the lights? Oh, yeah. Boop. And the Holy Spirit said, now I can see it. It's good. He said, you're making fun. No, I'm not. I'm telling you, they were all there. 3 in 1 at the beginning, creating. Whew. Crazy. Now, I have a simple question. Based on the book of Exodus, it said, God caused a strong wind to blow from the east, parting the waters. Didn't say the creek dried up, and so they come at the right time of year. It says that the waters parted and made a wall on the right and on the left, and the Israelites crossed over on dry ground. Now I have a question. Did Jesus have to die to perform miracles in the Old Testament? Did Jesus have to die to perform miracles in the Old Testament? The answer is no, because he wasn't dead. We should not have any discussion about that. Really? That's pretty simple. So because Jesus is the creative power of God, Jesus is God himself. Jesus was there blowing the wind that made the water cross. Jesus is an Old Testament being like he is a New Testament being, and Jesus didn't have to die to perform miracles in the Old Testament. All right? Concept number 1 is now complete, and we're all on the same page. Ready? Page 2. The concept of the God-man relationship. Creator to creation. Now we're moving it more personal. God to man relationship. Isaiah 7:4 and 9:6 and 7. Therefore the Lord himself will give you a sign. Behold, the virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and you shall call his name Emmanuel. And that means what? God with us. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulders, and his name shall be called, I don't like those commas where they are, Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Wonderful Counselor, see, that's one word. Of the increase of his government and of peace there shall be no end, and upon the throne of David and over his kingdom to order it and establish it with judgment and justice from that time forward, even forever. The zeal of the Lord of hosts will perform this. That's Isaiah talking about a virgin having a baby, and that that baby will grow up to be, basically it means the Messiah. He is the Messiah, the anointed one of God. Now Micah, is it 5:2? What's the next one? I think that's Micah 5:2. But you, Bethlehem Ephratah, though you are little among the thousands of Judah, yet out of you shall come forth to me the one, capital O, to be ruler in Israel, whose goings forth are from old, from everlasting. Now I'm just giving you 3 texts in the Old Testament declaring that Jesus would be born of a virgin, that he would become the Messiah, that the government should rest upon him, that he would be out of the throne of David. And then Micah says, Bethlehem Ephratah, that was what they called it before it just became known as Bethlehem. Bethlehem is whose city? David's city. Do you see that I just tied Micah 5:2 to Isaiah 7:14? Both of them say David's going to be involved in this. The throne of David, the lineage of David. All right. Matthew 1:22 through 2:2. That's really not many verses. So all this was done that might be fulfilled, which was spoken of by the prophets, saying, Behold, the virgin shall be with child and bear a son, and they shall call his name Emmanuel. We just read it, which is translated, God with us. Then Joseph, being aroused from sleep, did as the angel of the Lord commanded him, and took him and his wife, and did not know her till she had brought forth her firstborn son. Know her, meaning sexually. He did not know her till she brought forth her firstborn son, and he called his name Jesus, born of a virgin. After Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of Herod the king, behold, wise men came from the east to Jerusalem, saying, Where is he who is born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east and have come to worship him. Tying in Micah 5:2, that Jesus would in fact be born in Bethlehem when neither one of his parents lived there anymore. They both lived in northern Israel. Now you say, why did you read all that? I'm not trying to prove to you that the Bible is true. But what are the odds? What are the odds that this guy Joseph and Mary said, let's study the Old Testament and let's try to have a baby and see if we can just make as much of this work out as possible? What are the odds? And I'm telling you, the odds aren't good that they could do it, because they didn't have to do that. They lived out the plan of God in their lives. So that's just simple. But that's not why I'm reading that to you. This is why I'm reading this to you. It is critically important that we understand that Jesus is in fact God. He is not the highest creation of God. He is not just a good man. He is God incarnate, Emmanuel. God incarnate means in the flesh. He is called the Son of God only because he was born of a woman. He has that fleshly character. But he is not just a good man, he is the God-man. Fully human, fully God. You go, man, I can't get that. Me either. But I can believe it pretty easily. Now, here's the deal. This is a doctrinal statement. I've been doing those a little bit. I'm going to give you one. If you do not believe Jesus is God, I do not believe you can be saved. It's that important. If you say, well, I don't think Jesus had to be God to... Oh, wait. He had to be God, or else he was not the perfect sacrifice. It's critically important that you understand that little baby that was born in that manger and placed in that manger